Dubs win it 127-100, and honestly, it wasn't that close. Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss any post-game analysis as well as any team news going into the offseason and going forward. Let's get to the game. Game 2 Klay is a thing. On God, I promise you it is. Game 6 Klay, maybe we need to retire that, because the last couple Game 6s, Klay, he ain't been awful, but he ain't been Game 6 Klay like we used to. Game 2 Klay, we may have to make a thing because our boy went off. And to really give you an idea of how well my boy played, Bron, I'm going to need a little help from you.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Klay went the hell off. 8 for 11 beyond the arc. Had an overall efficient game. Anytime he wasn't doing it from the three-point line, he's getting to the cup, doing it from the mid-range. Of course, we know what he's going to bring on the defensive end. Did a great job just making sure that no one else really exploded. D'Lo almost had a runner for a minute. D'Lo, I'm going to get to D'Lo because if you're a Lakers fan, y'all seriously need to consider bringing him back, because if he doesn't have the small little burst that he went on, I think this game gets out of control by the second quarter. But I'm happy for Klay because we've all heard everything that everyone's been saying. He's a shell of himself. And as he told Chuck, give me some time. I've been gone for 2 years. I'm not saying he's ever going to be the Klay Thompson before the injuries. That's not what I'm saying. Instead of just jacking up shots, which is what I feel like he resorted to just to see the ball go in, this time it was a lot more efficient. He was getting the feed from Steph, getting it from Dre, and it just was beautiful to see. And I ain't going to lie, I got flashes of the 72 win season. I was like, bro, please, hey, drop these boys. So when we started raining in threes and we go up by 10, 12, 18, your boy was happy. How does this translate for the rest of the series? I have no idea. But you've got to expect him to feed Klay more. If you're not already, make sure you go follow the Warriors Central account on Twitter so you guys can get updates and my opinions as the game is going on, as well as the post-game analysis, which I'll link to in case you're just following there so you don't miss anything. But you guys subscribe anyway. Turn on that bell notification. You won't miss it that way either. You got to keep feeding Klay. We've got to at least run 5 to 10 early play. And I'm not talking about during the course of the game. I'm talking about during the first half of really trying to ingratiate him into the offense, because that's just going to open everything up. As you saw, Steph had a chill game. Steph had a very chill game. How many points? He only had 20 points. I say 20 like it's easy for people to get 20 points in the postseason, but that's our boy. You know what to expect. 20 points, beautiful plus minus, 7 from 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. But the one thing that among the list of things that they keep saying to discredit this man, which is disgusting at this point, if you're just hating on Steph, something wrong with you. Go get a life. I can't help you. It's like people who overly criticize LeBron and just say, oh, well, he ain't a great player. Like, as much as this, I'm loving this series and I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. You got to give your hats off to the greats. No matter what they do, they find different ways to impact the game. And the knock on Steph was, well, he's not a true point guard. Were you still saying that after tonight? Are you still saying that after tonight? Because last I checked, my boy was facilitating, drawing defenders, finding the open man so they can knock down the three. And believe me, we're going to get to JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green will not be forgotten in this post-game analysis. I don't care what ESPN says. I don't care what FS1 says. I don't care what any other YouTube channel says. This channel going to give JaMychal Green his due. Is this the recipe going forward? Because I think we had to do this, one, because the Lakers came out soft. Now, we didn't know that going in. But given how the Lakers played, I think our game plan was phenomenal. Shout out to Steve Kerr and the entire coaching staff for coming up with this, because as you have Curry just become more of a true point guard, even Draymond had moments where he was getting some really, really easy either layups or just some really easy floaters, whatever he could do to have an impact on the game offensively. And that is the Draymond that I want to see more. So I think this is when the Warriors are, I'm not going to say they're at their most dangerous, because there's so many ways for them to be dangerous on the floor. But you're giving so much spacing that you have to constantly respect Steph. It was to the point, even though I think it was maybe middle of the third quarter, right when the game was really getting out of control, they're still double, sometimes triple teaming Steph. And this is already with the blowout. They've seen Klay go off at this point. They've seen JaMychal Green hit a few shots. Of course, Wiggins had some contributions, but they still have to respect it the same way you have to respect an AD, you have to respect a LeBron, you have to respect that. I just feel like going forward, it's going to depend on how aggressive the Lakers come out and how much Anthony Davis is a focal point. Because if Anthony Davis is going to continue to thrive in the paint, that slows us down, doesn't let us get out to that quick pace that really helped us extend that lead out a lot quicker. Someone else that deserves their due is our bench, except for one player, and I'm going to get to him in a second because I'm seeing a trend, and it's a trend that I'm not liking. But 40 points from our bench, God bless them, because between Lamb, who had some minutes, between Moody, who also had some. It was a collective effort from DiVincenzo, Gary Payton. Everyone was chipping in. Same thing with Loon. Hopefully he gets ready for Saturday, gets a little bit healthier. Hopefully no one else gets sick. Just praying. And people saying that they faked the Loon health report. Why? We don't need to fake health reports, guys. Believe me, we're the Warriors. We don't need to fake health reports. And even if we did fake it, I ain't gonna be mad at you. And I can't remember if it was GP2, Moses Moody, may have been Lamb. Someone hit the deck on a play. May have been DiVincenzo. I can't remember who it was. But just the pure desire and will to win. This is how I knew we were in good shape, because we wanted it more than the Lakers. Hits the deck, gets the ball back out, finds Curry. Should have been an and one. Those are the type of plays you need, especially when you feel like, to a certain degree, your back is against the wall. You don't want to go down 0-2 going back to the Lakers. I do respect the Lakers. I hate the fact that it's called the Crypt now. The Crypt Arena. It's the stupidest thing ever, man. It's just stupid. Staples, to me, Staples is almost like Oracle. And I'm not trying to compare and say which one's better or sounds better, but it sounds good. It rolls off the tongue. Staples, Oracle. I miss them both, but at least we got Chase. Chase sounds a lot better than the Crypto. But yes, the bench was good except for one player. And I'm going to continue to say it until either he continues to play better or it just keeps getting worse. Either way, I'm fine with it. Jordan Poole, what the hell are you doing? There's so many times where he thinks he is Steph Curry. And I know that to a certain degree he is, or at least we were looking at him as, okay, maybe he's the next up. I'm not saying he was going to be the next Steph, but in terms of filling that position as Steph starts to take a back seat in the back half of his career, Jordan Poole could assert himself and start to rise up. But you can't just jack up shots, man. Too many times he resorts to isolation ball, just trying to jack up bad shots, and they're not running the offense. There were times I'm like, bro, I don't know what you and Dante DiVincenzo are doing. Get Curry, get Dre back out here, get someone who can help facilitate this offense. Because if all you want to do is jack up shots, we don't need you. Get your ass on the bench. Just get your ass on the bench. That honestly would have gave the Lakers more opportunities to get back into the game if all we're doing is just going down, dribbling for 5 seconds, going one-on-one with whoever, and just pulling up. Because Jordan Poole, you a good heat check guy, but you're not at that level yet. You're not Malik Monk level. I'm just being the buck. Malik Monk came off the bench and was raining hellfire. Jordan Poole comes off the bench and is raining bricks. And I love JP since his Michigan days. But, bro, that ain't it. I need you to figure out, if you don't want to run the offense that we run with the starters, you're going to have to figure out some type of offensive flow for you and the second team. Because what you're doing right now, it ain't working. And defensively, the man is the liability. There was a possession where I feel like either he turned the ball over and got stripped, or he just missed a shot, came back, and just completely lost his defensive assignment. And I'm like, get him out the game, man. Get him out the game. You've got to lock in. You cannot let a team creep back in when you start building a lead. You start getting up to 20, 30-point leads. You can't blow that. You can't. We've seen people come back from down 20, but once you get closer to 30, there's no way that this team should come back. And I felt like that was going to leave the door open for it. I don't know about JP. I just don't. He's so inconsistent, almost like Anthony Davis, although Anthony Davis is obviously the better player, and I feel like Anthony Davis could more easily assert himself into the flow of the game. I just don't understand what it is with JP anymore. I feel like there was a time where I felt like, okay, it's a rookie. We understand. Give him some time to grow. But now it just seems like he doesn't care. He's like, I'm just going to get mine. And if that's the case, if you just want out, dog, just say you want out. But this is my favorite stat. 50% from the field and 50% from three. The ball was moving. We're talking about pristine Golden State Warrior offensive flow. I love seeing everyone touching the rock. It definitely helps when Klay has the night that he has and when Steph has the efficient night he has. And again, drawing defenses in as he's going toward the paint, kicking it out to the open man, and then knocking down the shots. Now, that's just you guys are going to have to knock down shots. That's what it's going to come down to, because we're at home. You somewhat expect for that. A little bit. You got the home crowd cheering you on. Can that translate when they go down to Los Angeles? That is going to be the big question, because they're still going to have some of those looks. Even if we don't have the same exact game plan, Steph is still going to be able to draw the defenses in, and that's going to leave everyone else open. You guys have got to knock that stuff down. You have to. We can't have it all be on Steph, all be on Klay. And the Lakers' lack of aggression definitely helped. They came out like a team that knew they got the first game and said, we content. And we will gladly take advantage of that. We're not the Memphis Grizzlies. I shouldn't have to tell them that. I shouldn't have to tell Bron that. But we're not the Memphis Grizzlies. You gonna give us a game? You gonna give us a game. All right. We'll see how y'all feel after game 5. Something else, I don't know if you guys noticed. Lakers looked a little gassed, didn't they? I saw a lot of hands on hips, a lot of heavy breathing. AD look, hey, those minutes start adding up. Where's Anthony Davis at minute wise? Anthony Davis played the most, 33 minutes. Bron played 28, and Darvin Ham actually had them out until I want to say early to mid third quarter. I was surprised he let them in that long. I mean, you never know. You really could never know. You make 4 or 5 threes, all of a sudden you're back in the game. But I was surprised he kept them in the game that long, honestly. So as that continues to be a trend, we've had AD now. He's crossed the 30-point mark in both games, which you would expect. He's going to have that. But as it gets closer to the 40-point mark, how's that production going to be looking? He was only 5 of 11 from the field tonight, didn't even attempt a three, which you don't really want him attempting a three if you're a Lakers fan, if I'm being honest. But as a Warriors fan, just like Bron, hey, Bron, this is the one thing I'll say. I hate that this man, I swear, he only shoots well from three when he plays the Dubs. Only time. And even though, what was he at? He was 3 of 8 from the field because eventually, this is the thing with Bron. It's a good and a bad thing if you're a Lakers fan. But as a Warriors fan, as soon as I saw him knock down a couple threes, I'm like, keep shooting them. Please keep shooting them because Bron, he starts seeing a couple go in. He think he's Steph Curry. He's like, all right, cool, I got this. 3 of 8 from 3. If you're a Lakers fan, you don't want LeBron taking that many shots. I'm not saying he has to drive the lane, but you would much prefer him doing a fadeaway, which he's perfected later in his career, absolutely, or at least getting a better look, a better shot, not necessarily a 3. I'd rather you take a long 2 sometimes than you just straight up just jack up the 3. But like I said, as a Warriors fan, we will happily take that. I know I've gone a minute without mentioning him. JaMychal Green being inserted into the starting lineup. I mean, early he had great aggression on the defensive end, making sure that he was trying to make or leave his footprint on the game, driving to the lane, getting buckets. Once he started seeing that 3-point ball drop, I mean, you cannot understate how crucial he was to the game plan tonight. I mean, you look at his stat line, 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 2 assists. I thought he had a block in there, but I think I was thinking about Wiggins who got that block. And then 15 points. You can't ask any more from him for that. For a role player, and that's really what he is. I know he came and he was inserted into the starting lineup, but JaMychal Green's a role player. He's coming off the bench. But we appreciate the production because that also helped us early on in the first quarter establish the game plan and go forward with the rest of the game. This is how we're going to play. It's going to be Steph basically being Magic Johnson, trying to draw in defenses because we know they're going to sink in and collapse and kicking it out to the open shooters, and he took advantage when he could. Defensively, he showed me something that at times they put him on AD, and at other times they put him on D-Lo. And I'm not saying he was, the defensive player of the year out there, but he was putting enough defensive pressure to make things a little more difficult, which is more than I can say for game one. Because like I said, D-Lo flurries are how I feel as a Warriors fan. Like when Laker fans see us go on our 3-point run and they see the collapse coming, they're like, oh shit, here it comes. When D-Lo start cooking, I'm like, bro, why this man so sweet from the mid-range? I don't know if JaMychal gets to start on Saturday, but I wouldn't be upset if we insert him, and hopefully Loon is feeling a little better. Maybe we can give him more of the minutes he's accustomed to and it really be more of a balance factor. But JaMychal Green showed me something. The Lakers. The aggression that they showed game one versus what they showed this game was night and day. You couldn't even recognize this team compared to the one that came in our house game one and stole the win. And as a Warriors fan, we'll happily take this, but why did y'all stop featuring Anthony Davis? I'm just confused as to what Darvin Ham's strategy was. There's no reason at all, any point during the series, if I'm Darvin Ham, where I'm not going to have AD just back against the basket doing his thing. Now, that doesn't mean that y'all necessarily still would have won, but you put so much pressure on us defensively to where you have to try and do something, even though he's 7 foot. You can't just leave him wide open and just say, okay, we're going to give it to you. So it was interesting to see that from Darvin Ham as far as the game plan. AD, I think he only had he only had 11 points. LeBron is the one who had 23. 5 of 11 from the field. Did not have a good game. Had 3 blocks, though. And there are times, and I hate this. This is the second thing I hate. Steph, and by extension, Jordan Poole, who needs to be paying attention. Steph cannot just drive to the lane anymore. I think he can just flip it up. He's too tall for that. To him, that's an easy swat down. So, Steph, you're going to have to drag him across. And this is where I say, this is where people who say Steph is not a true point guard, you're not watching the games. Because he's drawing AD in, knowing he has to follow him. He was on his back. AD's just waiting to swat it down. As soon as Steph flips it up, kick it out to JaMychal Green, got it. Kick it out to Dante DiVincenzo, got it. Kick it out to Dre, who finds Klay open, got it. That's the game plan for us going forward. So going forward, I still think we're okay as far as factors for our success, but it is eye-raising that they did not feature Anthony Davis the way that they did. Laker fans, I don't know how you feel about D'Lo. I know he was originally drafted by y'all. Y'all need to re-sign him or at least give him an extension. I don't know what his situation is. I think you got him in a trade, I'm pretty sure. So either extend him, give him a new contract, I don't know what. But there are times where this would have been a much bigger blowout, and it probably would have happened earlier if you don't have D'Lo. I think when you have moments like or nights like this when Anthony Davis isn't really feeling it, LeBron is having an impact, maybe not the impact that you would want or maybe that even he would want. D'Lo gives you something. He gives you something. Because again, Austin Reeves, 7 points. I think the rookie factor is starting to set in. Could also be gas. Like I said, when you play the Warriors, this is a track meet, baby. You got to come ready. And these are NBA players. We know that for the most part, they're conditioned, unless you're James Harden, when you're trying to get to Brooklyn and you just said, F it, let me just put on some Barney weight. But outside of that, I mean, these are NBA players, but Austin Reeves, first playoffs, we definitely going to take advantage. And the more that you can limit his impact on the game, the better. I wish we had done as good of a job on Hachimura because Hachimura, man, 21 points, 4 of 6 from 3, 8 of 14 from the field. The boy's a fire starter. He's a fire starter. He comes off the bench and he is ready to hoop. And I know I made the comparison before, but Malik Monkish, I still think Malik Monk is probably the best fire starter that I've ever seen because I'm like, bro, why is this man this hot off the bench? But Hachimura, he's trying to get that bag too. He's trying to get that bag. He said, I know Austin nice, but don't forget, Hachimura is here to stay. And if I'm a Lakers fan, that is a good sign. You may want to, Darvin Ham, I don't know if you're going to do this, maybe insert Hachimura into the starting lineup, just see what happens. I don't know. And lastly, for the Lakers, there were just no adjustments. There was no adjustments, I felt like, at any point to try and stop anything. It was like, this is our game plan. We're going to stay focused on it. We're going to stay committed. And that's why we jumped out to the lead we did by half. And it was over. It was just over. So, hey, this has been a great series so far. Tied up 1-1, headed to South California, Los Angeles. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for Saturday. Is this one of the greatest series that we have seen in recent memory? I know it's only 2 games in. Might seem like hyperbole. I know we've gotten a lot of great series over the past couple of years. But this one feels different. This one feels special. And I'm not even being a homer on this one. It just, Lakers, Warriors, Steph, Braun. It's the stuff of legacies, man. It's the stuff of legends, of legacies, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to unfold. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm going to catch y'all next time.